On Saturday, May 11th, the miniature enthusiasts of Kingston and area are hosting their dollhouse and miniature show at the Portsmouth Olympic Harbor. There will be displays, dealers, and door prizes, and a special free draw for a furnished dollhouse. Joining me today on Your Local Show are Elizabeth Reed and Susan McDonald. Nice to have you on our show. What is Mika really about?
Mika is about people who are interested in miniatures, getting together and sharing our experiences and what we've learned over time with each other, and working on projects together and workshops.
And do you create these miniatures by yourself?
Sometimes we work on kits that have been purchased or we've arranged to be made, or sometimes we work from things in scratch.
Susan, what drew you to becoming involved with miniatures?
I've been interested in tiny things since I was a child and had stayed interested, and then discovered the show the one year, and then I went to the show, and by the next month I had joined the club.
Elizabeth, what drew you to working with miniatures and becoming involved?
One of the things that I think is very intriguing about miniatures is that you look at things in a different perspective. For example, you go to a lovely house and you look at this room and that room, or you go to a cathedral which is massive and you can only see a small section at a time. If you reduce that to miniature, you can see the whole thing all at once, and it really provides you with a different view of it.
If someone wanted to become a member, what would they need to do?
We do charge a minimal fee for an annual membership, but I mean, we don't expect you to pay until you've been to a couple of meetings and decided it's for you. It's our norm to do a small workshop at every meeting, and we take requests from our members as to what they're interested to do, and people volunteer to provide things.
So let's talk about the show. Tell me about the show.
The show is being held at Portsmouth Olympic Harbor on May 11th. It's a one-day show, 10 to 4:30 for the day. We will have some vendors there. In fact, various of our members, including myself, are vendors. And we will have, at this point, over 70 items on display in the show portion, most of which will be items that have either been made in whole or in part by our members. We'll also be having door prizes, and we have, meaning we as our members have put together a dollhouse kit which is fully furnished, and we will be drawing during the day for that as a free gift for anyone who's interested. The only caveat being that you need to pick it up yourself by the end of the day.
You mentioned a scavenger hunt. Can you talk to me a little bit about that and what that means, what that entails for the day?
We've provided a list of items that we have in the displays were taken to one person who's putting together a list. And then the challenge is for you to go around and find all of those items in the display. It kind of gets you to look more closely at the displays.
So we talk about miniatures, and all I can think of is wooden pieces and doll houses, but let's hear a little bit more about what will be there to draw on imaginations.
There are not usually too many house kits at a show because big item to take home. Most people want to think about that. More often there are wooden pieces of furniture or small accessories. In fact, the accessories sometimes are the more intriguing because you sit and look at them and say, they made that? It's so tiny. As an example, I have a toy on the table there of, it's supposed to be a Loch Ness Monster, and you may recall from your childhood, I do the little toys where you'd pull something or turn a crank and the model would move. Well, this one, you turn the crank and it literally, the Loch Ness Monster bobs up and down. So it's not just looking like it, it works. One of our vendors is a very skilled sculptor of animals. In fact, I have four of his items in the garden scene. The 3 dogs and the cat are all his pieces, and he's been sculpting these for many years. He not only does them for miniaturists, but goes to dog and cat shows, and people will buy items that remind them of their pet there.
So it's not just wood and plastic
No.
that makes these lovely miniatures. What else is involved?
It depends on what it is. The rug there was made by myself from a kit, but the aforementioned animals are made from something you may have seen in a craft store, Fimo. And the lovely animal at the front has that as its base, but that borzoi has been furred on top of having been sculpted. And then Susan's lovely mermaid is similarly sculpted.
And Susan, what else do you use when you're making miniatures? What other pieces of equipment or sort of materials would you use to create such a thing as what we're looking at on the table?
Well, I've worked in Fimo. I've done a little bit of woodworking. I've dressed miniature dolls, done some work with paper. Just a wide range of things. If it needs to be done, you learn how to do it.
How long does it take you to complete what you decide to do?
Oh, that entirely depends on the piece. For example, the campaign desk I did in a workshop last weekend, and we worked on it from about 8:30 till about 3:30. So a little bit of putting together, and then other things take much longer, and some things are quite fast.
It really depends on what it is and what materials you use. The sky's the limit. If it exists in real life, someone has done it in miniature. This is something that I bought from an estate sale. I'm pretty sure it's one of a kind. It's in 1 to 1/44 scale. The outside comes off so that you can get at the inside. It has to be done in the right order. And it is partly furnished inside. So you can see it even has the wallpaper on all of the walls, but not completely. I don't know whether it's because some things went missing or it just was never completely done. But it's accessible from almost every point. When I saw it, I fell in love with it, had to have it.
I'm hoping that I might be able to come and see what's available too. Thank you both for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you.